Greetings and welcome to Mount Olympus. I am Hercules Invictus, and tonight on Creative Living Mythology, I'm proud to bring you Bob Vosseller and Spaced Out. Greetings, Bob. How are you?
Doing well. A little warm here in Jersey Shore, along the Jersey Shore, but I'm ready to roll this weekend, and I'm very happy that Wayne Augustson could join me once again for
Yes,
our romp around spaced out and loads of subjects to go over tonight.
absolutely. So how are you doing, Bob? You said it's hot over here on Long Island. We've had some thunderstorms, so it's down in the mid 70s right now. So we're going through a cold snap.
We did too. We had some rain and stuff, but it didn't, unlike yesterday when it kind of cooled things off, it's still pretty humid around here. So
Yeah.
that's one of the reasons I chose of all the Superman shirts, I chose one that kind of represented the heat. It was kind of warm.
I
And
only have the Suffolk County Fire Academy shirt on, so as a matter of fact, I have all of my good my good shirts. I have two Alien shirts, two Godzilla shirts, and and an Alpha Moon base logo from Space
oh,
1999 on that. I might wear that to the barbecue. I'm not sure, but I
I do
like
not.
my shirts from I think it's called Creative Cavity or something like that. But
Ah.
really good, really they have a really good assortment of shirts from horror, fantasy, science fiction. So it's good stuff. But yeah, I like that shirt, Bob.
Well, I have a few Superman shirts. I know which one I'm going to wear to the movie and all that.
Are you going to see the premiere of Superman tomorrow?
Well, I won't see it this weekend because, of course, we know I'm headed to Lancaster, Pennsylvania for shore leave and
Yeah, yeah,
just finished my packing. Emily made sure I got everything out of the way and ready to
right.
roll. And, like the geek tradition, wearing my shore leave 13 t-shirt at one point. I have two of them, so Emily's going to wear it as well. And the only time in our lives that we wear twinsy attire, but and of course it's surely 45, and I'm amazed that those shirts stand up.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
literally on their own, but they're not that snug, and so it can still fit into it. So that's always something that I bring to shore leave, and my big decision was, what do I wear for my uniform? Because I have to wear the uniform for the Starfleet Region 7.
Well, go with what you feel comfortable. Go with the duty uniform instead of the admiral's uniform.
Well, I
Mix it up a
decided
bit.
this year to make it, a reappearance, an oldie but goodie. One of the uniforms I tended to wear a lot in the 90s.
Would that be the Surfer Bob uniform, the tank top?
Yes. I decided, you know what? Go for comfort this year.
Yeah,
It may be warm. Just go for comfort. It'll stand out. It'll be comfortable. It'll be a little retro, next gen, but
right.
it's next gen summer wear. So that is what I'm going to wear. So and I can still wear it comfortably. So
And what is the name of the hotel where Shore Leave is being hosted this year? It's the same as last year, correct?
it's Wyndham. It's a Wyndham. And we're going to be right across the street in wonderful Red Roof,
Oh,
which is only, across, literally across the street. And to
right,
the side
right.
of us is Golden Corral. And to the side of Golden Corral is the Cartoon Network Hotel, which would be really fun to go into and stay in if it wasn't so freaking expensive. But
As long as it has air conditioning.
yeah, yeah. Red Roof's not bad. It also provides free coffee and tea,
Right.
um,
Now, if I'm
and a
not
nice pool.
mistaken, yeah, I'm sorry. If I'm not mistaken, doesn't Red Roof have like concrete walls and concrete floor? We had something like that. It was
Yeah,
almost like a truck
but
stop.
not in the rooms, but around, yeah, yeah. What if we were on and I don't know what floor we're on, but I remember the concrete going up and stuff. Like, I think it's only 3 floors.
I know that the hall, I've always found, at least at the Red Roof Inns that I'd stayed at, that for some reason the corridors are extra wide. Very, at least over here
Yeah.
in Long Island, very wide corridors.
Yeah, and there are in some of them a table and a chair like in the middle of the hallway, which is kind of interesting.
In case you have to take a rest or something, sure.
Yeah. It was, it wasn't the Taj Mahal, but it was comfortable and it was suitable and it was close, to the hotel, and you couldn't get a room in the Con Hotel anyway because
Right,
they
right.
filled up so fast. They filled up literally in an hour last year, and we didn't even
I'm
try
hoping the
this year.
venue, I'm hoping the venue changes so that it can accommodate more of the attendees because I would rather not, I would rather stay at the convention, or I should say, I'd rather stay at the hotel where the convention is being hosted, as opposed to, hey, if I want to go back to my room, take off my uniform, or just rest, I don't want to go into a hot parking lot, get in my car,
Yeah, that's
drive
the
or
only thing.
whatever. I mean, then again, you said the Red Roof Inn is right across the street. Now,
Right,
across
we
this,
could cross the street. We're in,
okay,
cross the
yeah,
street,
yeah.
and I mean it's not quite as convenient as just catching an elevator and going up, but it's not too bad. And if there's like a few hours where there's nothing going on, going across the street and hitting the pool and cooling off is going to be fine.
Right. And of course, Starfleet Region 7 will be properly represented there. We're going to have a recruitment table and we have a
Mhm.
meeting on Saturday morning, correct?
Yes, 9 o'clock as always by tradition. Um, and I forgot exactly what room we're in, but if it's anything like last year's, it was ginormous, and we even had a dance floor. Not that we
There you
would
go.
have a dance floor, so we moved the table in a little bit. So,
Hmm.
but I think it'll be fun, and we'll
Good.
catch up as we always do, and spend some time at the table and meeting fans and looking through the dealer's room and seeing what we could waste our money on.
But it's slim pickings these days. I found
Yeah, it was the dealers were different than usual from what we remember
there's a
from
lot
our
of art.
childhood.
Is it sort of like a lot of arts and crafts type stuff now?
Yeah,
Okay.
a
All
lot
right.
of
That's yeah.
laser printing stuff.
Yes.
A lot of if you were a D&D person, there was a lot of D&D
Oh, I like D&D,
publications,
so yes.
leather stuff, swords, things like that. A few t-shirt vendors, um,
What was
ornaments,
did Creation
Christmas
have a
ornaments.
table there? You know how the people that sell the t-shirts and some of the figures and all that. I thought that was a table that was run by people from Creation.
Um, no, not, I don't believe it was creation there last year. There were people that had t-shirts of various genres and they were
Oh, okay. All right.
selling
Yeah, yeah.
those.
They were mostly Star Trek, so as
Yeah,
far as the Creation
some
store.
crochet figures, things like that. There was uh two elderly ladies that were selling, ornaments that they had painted. And then there were some from Hallmark that they were reselling and
Yeah,
stuff.
did they have the chocolatier there? Because one of the last shore leave I went to was shore leave of 2022 when it was still at the Hunt Valley, and they had a dealer that was selling all sorts of chocolate, all sorts of different flavored chocolate, and they made some money off of me, that's for sure. I definitely
Yeah,
my sweet tooth was definitely
maybe
acting
it
up
was
that
the
time.
same vendor because we definitely picked up the fudge.
Oh, did you? Oh, absolutely. Of
That's
course you had
Emily's,
to.
she's got a sweet tooth for the fudge. There
Mm,
was no way we were leaving without that. And I think on, Friday and Saturday or Saturday and Sunday,
right.
we, partaked in that. Oh, there was what was interesting last year, and maybe they'll be back. And they were originally parked outside, but then they got a table inside, or both, was a vendor who made uh, action figures of yourself. Like, I guess you would get scanned. Maybe you go
Oh,
into the
yes.
outside
I've heard of that.
truck, and maybe that's when where the scanner is, and then the inside was basically afterwards. You come back and you see your figure, but it was really cool. A little pricey.
Was it? I would definitely want to have it done in a Starfleet uniform. This way you can have
Yeah,
your own action
yeah,
figure.
absolutely. I mean, so I was approached because last year for the first, for the Saturday, I wore my Star Trek motion picture admiral uniform kind of thing. You know, it had the hockey jersey, but it was close enough to.
Right, right.
And he kept on coming up to me and saying, "Wow, you should get your figure in that uniform." And you know, because it would look even more authentic as an action figure. And I was considering it, but
Right.
you know,
Well, that would definitely be a novelty item that if they should have
yeah,
the dealer there when I return to shore leave, I would most likely check it out. Most definitely.
yeah, yeah. I bet he'll be back because there were some people around there. I'm sure they got some, you know, a
Well,
sufficient
then
number.
at least you, as long as these dealers at least make their table money back, you know, that then they're sure to come back. At least turn a
Yeah,
profit.
yeah.
You know.
So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking
Good.
forward to seeing some of the guests. They're going to have Michael Ironside,
Really good
uh,
villain.
Casper, whatever his
Dean, Casper Dean from Starship
Ian.
Troopers.
Yep, they're having, you know, a Starship Trooper kind of reunion thing, and of course Dina Meyer,
Very,
uh,
very
who
good.
I
Right.
almost forgot was a Romulan in an episode of Star Trek: The Motion
Huh.
Picture. But or I'm sorry, she was in Nemesis. She was in Star Trek Nemesis.
Yes, 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 yes,
Um,
yes.
and of course, I think she made the best Batgirl who's ever been done, including, you know, Yvonne Craig. She looked so authentic.
Yeah.
And in it was only brief in a brief episode of Birds of Prey where they
Right,
showed
right.
her as Batgirl in the gray outfit with the gloves were a little long for you know comic book you know authenticity, but otherwise she you know she had the red hair and she looked really good, and
Good.
I've always liked her. So she of course was in Starship Troopers. So there's going to be that, and or
And that's right. Michael Ironside was also in Starship Troopers, if
yes,
I'm
well,
not
they're going to
mistaken.
be on together. The all
Good.
three
Yeah, yeah.
of
You were
them,
saying that. Yeah, that's good.
they're
That's
gonna have
good.
a panel together and play off each other, which I think is great, rather than have them individually. And I think they're doing the same thing for the Star Trek cast, but I forgot who is. I know Ethan Peck couldn't be there because of filming of Strange New Worlds, and unfortunately, the Navigator, um, and my
She could
name.
not be present either. That's right. You were saying that they were
She
getting
will be there, but only on Saturday. She will
uh,
only be there on Saturday,
right,
and
right.
I look forward to seeing her and hearing her. I think she's got a East Coast connection, if not maybe a New Jersey one. I'm not sure. I could be wrong about that, but
Really.
I look forward to seeing her. Um, and I think they have some voice people too. So
They have interesting stories to tell. There's
yeah.
some good voice actors out there.
Well, and this is Shore Leave's milestone year. It's 45 years, um, which I'm surprised they're not playing that up a little bit more. Um, but that's a long time. I'll be sporting my Shore Leave 13 shirt, like I said, and I'm gonna
You
feel
are a relic.
I am a relic. And I think that was my second year.
I was going to ask, was that your first shore
Yeah,
leave?
I think Shore Leave 12 was my first year, and because I remember Shore Leave 12 well in the sense that I could remember it at all on Friday night because let us say that in my younger days we imbibed a little bit and we
I
had
think I may have been at
yeah.
shore leave 12. Did that have the captain of the aircraft carrier Enterprise? Did it have Major Barrett?
It may have. I know they were there. I was
Because
there.
I believe that was one of my first shore leaves was way
I
back
have
in the
not
early
missed
90s,
Shore Leave.
92.
Could be. I mean, I was there in the. I think when I was there was still on the Avenger, so that
Okay.
was the 80s,
Oh, all right. All
and
right.
Avenger formed in 85, and this is 45. So, and yeah, I think I was there in 80, um,
I know the math might be difficult.
86, maybe 87.
Oh, okay, then it must be different because the first shore leave, I still have the I saved most of my programs from all the other shore leaves, and I think my first shore leave I think was 1992 or 1993, whatever number that would be.
Hmm. Yeah, I try to keep the programs, but I mean, after a while, it's like,
After a while, right? I used to keep the Farpoint ones, even back when it was called October Trek. I have a few of those
yeah,
programs.
October Trek. I mean, the cons were they were just so much fun, and back in our younger days, we wouldn't really go to sleep. We would roam around
There would
looking
always
for
be something going on. That's
room
right.
parties, 10 forward.
A lot of
Then
food, a lot of drink, and then a lot more drink.
yes, yes, yes. Now it's like, oh, it's about 11 o'clock. Think gonna go to bed.
Right. Yes. Yes. We're all getting older. That's true, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know. And
So you're not planning to see the new Superman. You're
I'm a holdover of Henry Cavill. I've been very disappointed by a lot of Marvel movies, so I think I'm gonna take a wait and see. As far as Superman goes, I am not saying that I am not going to see it, but I don't
maybe
know
eventually,
what medium will it be in the theater, or will I wait until it's streaming. That I don't know yet. The one thing I was disappointed about is that he's not going to that apparently he doesn't want to say for truth, justice, and the American way. He doesn't want to say the American way. He says, I think I read
truth,
it says to have
justice,
fun or
and
something.
all the good things. That's what the
That's
latest.
it. Yes, that's it exactly. I mean, okay. Mhm.
I am happy that we get our first live crypto Superdog.
Yeah, yeah, and also Supergirl is in there.
Is Supergirl. I knew
Yes, she is. I saw a
Girl,
scene
Green
with
Lantern, and Mr. Terrific of all people. I thought that that was an interesting choice, or
yes,
to put those three in, because they're not really what I thought would be funny would be if they put Mr. Terrific, um, Plastic Man, Shadow Lass, and Metamorpho. Well, I think we are getting Metamorpho. And the reason I'm mentioning those for four is that given that the next superhero movie after Superman is Marvel's Fantastic Four and the Terrifics, which is a comic book, where they deliberately put all four of those superheroes together as a sort of kind of a spoof on Fantastic Four.
ah,
Mr. Terrific being the smart guy and being like Reed Richards, but yet
right, right,
Elastic Man having the elastic powers, Metamorpho clearly being the thing equivalent, and
right.
Phantom, and I'm not saying Phantom Lady, but Phantom Lass, I think, or Phantom Girl from Legion of Superheroes. I don't know how she would get there from the 31st century, but this is comic books.
Anything
Um,
can happen.
yeah, I thought that might be cute because but who they do have that somehow fits into this storyline, and I think they're part of something called the Global Gang or something.
Hmm.
Is Hawk Girl or Hawk Woman,
Yes, yes.
but she's wearing a very similar costume to both Guy Gardner, Green Lantern, and Mr. Terrific, which is weird because that's not how those two characters looked. Although Mr. Terrific costume is authentic, is spot on.
Right.
So,
Well, I did see an extended trailer, and Supergirl was in there because she was looking for her dog Crypto. And that's when Crypto flies over to her and bullets
oh,
right into her and knocks her down and over. I think that scene takes place in the Fortress of Solitude. But
oh, that's neat. Okay.
definitely Supergirl is there. What I do like about Superman that we're not going to go through another, I won't say tiresome, but we're not going to go through another origin story. It's going to go right into Superman is here
Right.
and we're doing
Yeah.
our
And
thing, and I like that.
apparently, the one part, and yeah, this is a little bit of a spoiler, but the trailer kind of already has blown it. But apparently, Lois and Clark have had a
And
relationship.
Ida, you're right. Yes,
So
yes,
she knows his identity, which I was a little
yes.
disappointed on. I wanted to go back to the old, Lois and not knowing Clark was Superman, because I
Right.
guess I've seen that with the Superman and Lois
Lois? Yeah.
CW show, which I have still not watched the last 5 episodes, and I deliberately waited to watch the last 5 episodes thinking I would watch them right before the Superman movie. And of course, here it is. I'll probably watch the movie next weekend. So maybe I'll get a chance. I'll have to watch an episode a night to
Right.
finally catch up on that. But that in that one, he's got an entire family. He's got two sons. So and Lex Luthor is in that, or
Yeah.
Luthor, depending on how
Right,
you
right.
pronounce it. Uh, I think because the 1960s cartoon pronounced it Luthor, that always stuck in my head. But I know, it might be Luther in Smallville, and I don't know, in other movies. But we will get him. We will get the mad scientist, and we will get some weird looking monster that I've
Yes, yes, yeah, and of course, the Japanese word for monster is kaiju. So yes, they do say, "Oh, there's a kaiju in the city."
uh
Well,
I
obviously,
didn't get
Superman,
that. Okay.
kaiju,
And I
yep,
think there's
kaiju.
also some sort of abominable snowman kind of creature too,
Oh,
because
really? Really?
I saw the action figure in the store,
Oh, well,
you
there
know,
you go.
or
You like that
the
how they
kid.
release all the merchandise before the movie comes out, and you say, "What's this character?" And now you're not really that surprised.
Yeah. An interesting story is that when Dick Tracy came out, they had released uh the blank, if you remember Dick Tracy. And
I
remember
remember
the
the movie.
plot, like if you bought the blank, and they didn't make as many blanks on purpose, because if you got the blank, you could actually take the head off or the mask off, or they had double heads, and then
Right.
you would know that it was Madonna.
Wow.
So it blew the ending of the movie. So and apparently the blank action figure is very rare.
Oh,
I never
really?
got into Dick Tracy to that extent where I collected the figures, but I did see on Collector's Corner somebody that was really into that, and that's how I know that story. But
I'm wondering if there'll ever be a cameo or some sort of reference to Batman. Do you
well,
think?
yeah, I think that with this whole reconstruction of the DC universe, and with I think the Batman is going to become part of this universe. And I think that's because of the age
Oh, you
situation.
mean the Robert Pattinson Batman, which I
Yeah,
enjoy very, very much. Yes.
I think he will be the Batman that we will eventually, hopefully, see either when they redo the Justice League, or do Superman and Batman correctly, in my opinion, and call the movie World's Finest, Batman and Superman, or Superman
Okay.
and Batman, and have them show their relationship, but not go off to like versus each other right off the bat. Like, yeah, I
Right.
can see a little friction a little bit in the beginning. Maybe have Bruce Wayne come to Metropolis and flirt with Lois Lane or something, and
Yeah.
like kind of like what we saw in the animated cartoon in either Superman, or was it the Adventures of Batman, or when they did crossover. I thought that was the best
Right.
crossover,
Right.
you know. So I hope we do see that, and I hope we'll see better versions of. I know we're going to see, and maybe we're seeing it in this movie. There's been talk of Jason Momoa, who of course was Aquaman, is going
Hmm.
to play the part that I think he was destined to play, which is Lobo. And I believe he's going to be, no, he's not going to be in this movie. He's going to be in the Supergirl solo movie.
Ah.
And I think they cast Supergirl rather well. She was the actress who was in the um, Game of Thrones prequel, um,
Oh,
but they aged her out. So she was only in part of the season.
right.
She was
Right.
young at the time, and she's
Yes.
very, very good. And she does look the part. And I think she'll make an excellent Supergirl. Um, so it should be interesting to see how she fits into this, and I think it was a smart idea to sort of introduce her in this version, and then we get a tease of her own movie.
Right, right. Well, I can only wish it well. I wish it
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, I did like Henry Cavill as Superman. I'm disappointed in a way. But on the other hand, Man of Steel was very dark and it had way too much, I thought, to destruction. It almost felt like a Godzilla movie,
Yeah,
like,
it did. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
and I just thought it could have been better. I think their thought was that we don't want to camp it up. We want to make it darker so that darker translated to more realistic.
Yes, yes.
That didn't owe it, for a character like Superman, you need to have it brighter. And you could have some realism, but you also have to have a more, it's not like Batman. Batman
Right. Yeah, because
is, by
Batman
all
is,
means, Batman is dark and Gotham City is shadowy, and Metropolis is not.
no,
Metropolis
you're
is,
right. You're right.
um, and in the same sense, we're going to get another taste of Fantastic Four in a few weeks, and
Yes,
see.
we are.
It's got to be better than the 2015 version, which was absolutely awful, where they sucked all the fun out of it and tried to make it into a science fiction movie, and they took all the flavor out of it.
Right.
Probably because they had to maintain the rights. It was probably thrown together by Fox.
Right.
And
Yes. It was not very good at all. And I see I don't think I'm gonna go see Fantastic Four in the theater, but I am very, very curious to see how they do Galactus.
yeah, well, they have shown him, and
Oh,
finally
have they? Oh,
we get
I haven't seen
just
that.
just as we get our first live action crypto in Superman, we get our first live action well, we get our first live action Herbie, the robot,
Oh,
but
you
we
mean him
also
from the animated
from
series?
the animated, where he took the place of the
Oh,
Human Torch.
yes, he did, and I don't know why. I don't know why. Is it was there some sort of a copyright thing with because I
Yes. What
there
happened
was.
was the folks at Universal apparently had the rights. This is what I read, that they had the rights to the Human Torch, and that they were going to use him, and they could not. It was a contract thing. And because a lot of people said, oh, it's because people were afraid that the kids would watch the cartoon and set themselves on fire. No,
Oh,
that's
okay.
not what happened at all.
Right.
And besides, they didn't do that when Hanna-Barbara had
Had that, yes, when they
Fantastic
had their
Four. And I
turn.
thought that was like the best cartoon version of Fantastic Four, maybe even to this day, because they took actual storylines and everything, and
Yes, yes,
and
yes. But it should be
did
interesting.
a much better cartoon than, say, the Marvel superheroes in the 1960s, where you had the little paper that they
Right,
moved
and
around.
their lips moves, but nothing else did.
Yeah.
But that was that art that looked like it looked all that art looked like Jack Kirby art.
Yeah, a lot of it was.
I liked that art. I mean, I
Yeah,
could do
because
without
Jack
some of the
Kirby
songs at
did
the beginning.
Thor, and
Yeah.
Jack Kirby did Captain America. And Iron Man was done by an artist by the name of a very well-known artist by the name of Don Heck. At that point in
Who
time,
did Hulk? Who did Hulk? Was
Hulk
that
was. Um, I wonder if it was Larry Lieber. Stanley.
the name sounds familiar, yes.
Yeah, who I nearly met at a few months back, but he came the next day and I couldn't go back.
Right, right.
Probably his last guy, because the guy's 90 something, and recently wrote a book. But I think Larry Lieber was doing the Hulk, drawing
Right.
wise. I think that was before Maurice Severin, and of course the legendary Herb. When I was starting to read Hulk, it was Herb Trimby. Um, uh,
Herb something. I know that.
yeah, I never knew how to pronounce it, but I loved his Hulk. Like and I one of the first issues of the Hulk that I got was the one where he's fighting Wolverine,
Oh,
where
really? My first
Wolverine was a brand new character, and he looked more like a kid, and you didn't know that he was like 100 years
right.
old or
Yeah,
anything,
my
because
my, my yeah.
they hadn't created his backstory yet, you know.
Oh yeah, my first Incredible Hulk was issue number 13. I had
Wow.
gotten it. I got it when I was a kid, and I think I maybe have paid a whole whopping $10 or $12. And of course, $10 or $12 to a kid might as well be $1,000, you know.
Yeah,
But that was
yeah.
that was the earliest issue I ever had of Hulk, and for Iron Man, the earliest issue I ever had. Let's face it, we all wanted to get Tales of Suspense, but you're not gonna touch that
Yeah.
for a pre was number 3. I had Iron Man number 3.
Well, remember the days when, you know, in the 70s they were reprinting some of the earlier, you know, sagas like Marvel, it was called Marvel Triple Action. And it featured the Avengers, but early Avengers, and it had Captain America. And it was
Right.
at the time when Captain America had taken over. Iron Man, Thor, Wasp, and Giant Man had
Yes.
left the group, and they left it to Captain America. And even within the storyline, it was called Cap's Kooky Quartet, you know, by the public. And
Right.
it had Hawkeye, who previously was a villain in Iron Man, the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, who were previously villains who were used
Because they were
in
Magneto's kids,
the X.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, well, that was even before they knew that that was
Oh,
their. Yeah, but they were part of the evil mutant Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, but they
yes.
had reformed. So, and they didn't get along, and Captain America's trying to keep them all in line, and Hawkeye wants to be the leader, but of course Captain America's the leader, and you know, is keeping them. And Scarlet Witch had kind of a crush on Captain America, and Pietro Quicksilver was a hothead. You know, he was just like he was a young teenager, kind of like Johnny Storm.
Yes, 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 he was. Right, right.
So it was like that foursome, and that's how I first got to you know the Avengers. That was the team that I you know
Yeah.
so I got to know. And Iron Man, the reprints of that were something else. It was Marvel Super Action or something, and they reprinted you know, the original with Iron Man in half the book and Submariner in the other, you
Oh,
know.
really? Yeah, I liked a lot of those Marvel books. I used to one of my favorite, I guess, off titles would be Marvel Supervillain Team Up, because my
Oh
all-time
yeah,
villain was
yeah.
It was Doctor Doom and
And
somebody
Submariner.
else every issue.
Yeah.
And there was one very good story with Doctor Doom and the Red Skull. Very, very good. I love that. Marvel had 2-in-1. Well, it was the Thing and somebody else, and that was it.
Yeah.
Those are some very, very
Yeah,
good issues.
I collected that. I loved, you
So
know,
did I.
the
Yes.
Thing having his own book, and but
Yes.
yeah, because you found out more about the Thing through that than you did in Fantastic Four.
Yes, you did. And a little bit more of his relationship with Alicia.
Yes.
So
Hmm.
it was very good because everybody loves the ever-loving blue-eyed Thing.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So
Which
now getting back
yeah.
to the movie that's going to be coming out. I don't know much about it other than we have a female Silver Surfer, which was in the comics, because wasn't there eventually a female Silver Surfer?
No, they unless it's more recent. I think the
Probably it would be after my time of collecting comics, so within the last
what
20
I
years.
remember, and again, I may not be up on all the more recent stuff, but what I remember is, and I wish they had used her instead of just creating a female Silver Surfer, was Johnny Storm had a girlfriend by the name of Frankie Ray. And Frankie Ray was this lovely,
Frankie
beautiful
Ray. Wow,
redhead.
I remember that name.
And Frankie apparently had a connection to she sort of had a blank out, and she started to see herself in the mirror with like this yellow costume,
Huh.
like you know, and I'm not sure how the yellow costume materialized or what, but she apparently had a connection to Toro, who was the sidekick of the original Human Torch.
Ah,
Now, the Human Torch android at one point, you know, being a synthetic, you know, creation,
right.
um, had to save this young boy and gave him a blood transfusion because, it's always a blood transfusion that passes along superpowers, just like
Of course, of
Bruce
course.
Banner with She-Hulk and stuff. So I don't know why an android would think that a blood transfusion from an android would save this young, but of course that gave him Human Torch powers, so he could, flame up.
Wow. And androids having blood to begin with, that's
Right, right.
there you go.
That
There you
seemed
go.
very crazy. Um, so apparently Toro, and Toro, this is from World War II era,
Right,
must have gotten married and had kids, and Frankie is one of them, or a granddaughter. I don't know
right,
on the time fact, but this came out in the 70s, so probably a daughter. So
right.
she didn't know about her past. So all of a sudden she realized she becomes, basically a female Human Torch.
Oh, okay.
But
Convenient.
Galactus comes to town. And of course, what does Galactus want to do? What he always wants to do when he comes to Earth, he wants to have lunch. He wants
Yes, he wants to eat.
consume, our big blue planet. So somehow they don't have a herald at this point for Galactus. Galactus has gone through Silver Surfer. Then he had Gabriel, and then he had Gabriel 2, who was an android of, a copy of the first.
Right,
I don't think we get Terax yet, but he always liked elemental character, heralds, Silver Surfer being water, I guess, and Terex being ground, and Gabriel being air.
right,
Um,
right, right,
so, so Frankie volunteers to save the planet and become his other herald, and in that way saves Earth. I guess it was a trade-off of I need a herald. I won't have Earth as a snack if I get one. And she becomes Nova. Like before the Nova, the man called Nova,
yes, I
he
remember. I used to
becomes
collect
this
that title too.
basically a gold version of the Silver Surfer with this kind of flame hair, minus
Okay.
the surfboard. But she has supernova powers, and and she becomes the Herald. In fact, I even have the action figure.
There
So
you go.
why they didn't think like, oh, let's just use her instead of just creating a silver version. We could actually, of course, as we know, this Fantastic Four is based in a different Earth anyway. So that's what's going to,
Right, right. And do you think we'll be seeing a Doctor Doom at all?
I believe it has gone on record by the director that Doctor Doom is not in this movie.
Ah,
Is
okay.
not in this movie. We do get to see the monster that shows up in the very first issue of Fantastic Four.
Yeah, because I think that's what they're fighting in the city streets there. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it had a scene where it was like almost a duplicate of the cover. So
Yes, it was the cover with them. Yes, yes, it was.
yeah.
Absolutely. I remember the
And,
cover of the Fantastic Four
and
number.
it has sort of a retro 60s flavor. You see the police officers with the old.
Yes, I'm thinking that in the back, I'm sure they'll have Willie Lumpkin in the Baxter building and all
Hmm.
that. Yeah, so yeah, I think it is retro. I think it is the 60s, if I'm not mistaken.
Or or it's a world that the 60s culture kind of continued on,
Well,
or
hey, hey, if DC can have
who knows
the
it,
infinite Earths, they can Marvel can do that as well.
we
So
see a version of Herbie the robot, which I think is a
yes,
nice nod. It is clearly they're not doing another origin story as
right.
well. This is years into their time. We kind of see a flashback of how they got there, but then
Yeah, yeah.
jump to the more modern time where from the teaser we already see that the world loves the Fantastic
Right.
Four.
And they do have their Fantastic Four car that opened that vehicle
Yeah.
they used to ride around in for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, they have that, and the interesting thing is they put Thing in a kind of a costume, which is not unheard of. Usually, when he had something like that, he had like you know
That's
like not a t-shirt, but you know what I mean. Like my next gen summer
oh,
wear
like a tank top, a tank top.
tank top. That's the
That's it.
word I'm looking
Yeah, yeah.
So but this is an all, like he has a full-blown costume. I think it's still CGI, so I don't know why they chose to do that, but
I thought they did a good job with what was the name? Michael Chilkus, or what was the
yeah,
his name?
he
I
was
thought that was a very well done thing.
I bought into him being the thing, and I liked the voice.
Yeah, so did I. So did
This
I.
guy's voice isn't quite what I was
It's
expecting, but
too normal. It's not gravelly.
yeah,
Pardon the pun.
yeah, I was expecting, more Brooklyn, more,
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
what a revolting development this is,
Yeah, and of course the Yancey Street Gang, the Yancey
Yeah.
Streeters. I wonder if they'll make an appearance at all.
It's clear that Johnny is still the smart alecky guy, and that
Yes, it
probably
seems like
will
that.
do all these kind of pranks on Ben, and has sort of a snarky, but friendly relationship with Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, where they find out, and this is not a spoiler because it was in the teaser, that clearly this is a point of time where they have Franklin, like where
Yes,
they
they do
discover
have
she's
young
pregnant,
Franklin. Yep, yep, yep.
and Johnny says to him, "Oh, and you'll be such a great father." And he said, "You think so?" He said, "No, of course not. You're way
Yeah.
over your head." Like, um, which I understand, because Mr. Fantastic, as much as we love Reed Richards, is up there in intellect. So they have to keep him a little humble. So they have to bust his chops too. So, and Sue is really the glue that keeps everything together.
Yes, yes.
And in many ways has the best power, because she has the force fields and the
And
invisibility.
yeah, absolutely. She has a few good talents that have come into because Reed, other than his brilliant mind, he can stretch, which
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, that's good. That's not a superpower I would choose if I were gonna have superpowers.
Yeah, I
Um,
wouldn't either. And it's interesting, all the rubber guys that we have seen, the first being Plastic Man was a criminal who got reformed, and he's kind of a smart aleck kind of a guy, and the whole tone of the book was sort of humorous. And
yeah,
his,
yeah.
his sidekick is Willie Winks, who was basically Willie Winks being, an alcoholic who would get drunk all the time, in the comic. And then we have the DC, before they got the rights to Plastic Man, wanted their own rubber guy, so they created Elongated Man, and
Ah,
he was the more, the detective kind of guy, and paired off with his smarter girlfriend, then later wife, Sue Dibney, and it was sort of like a takeoff on the Thin Man,
right.
movies, where he would be the detective, but she would kind of figure out things
A
more.
blunder into right, right, right.
Yeah. Um, and then, of course, Reed Richards in the 60s. I forgot if Elongated Man came before or after. I think he may have come in the 50s. But Reed Richards, of course, being, like, we need a brilliant guy, but we have to give him a power. What are we going to give him? And that's the power they gave him, is being elongated and rubber and all that.
I guess it has its uses.
Yeah, yeah.
But then again, yeah, yeah, out of all the group titles that I collected, Fantastic Four would have been my favorite, and then it would have been the Avengers. I never got into the Defenders or the Eternals or anything like that. Well, wait, the Defenders, that was Hercules?
No, no, that you're thinking of the Champions, but
Champions. Oh, okay, okay.
the Defenders was, I did get into the
Did Hulk
Defenders.
was Hulk a part of the Defenders?
Hulk,
Okay.
Doctor Strange. When I started to collect it, it was originally the Defenders was Doctor Strange, Silver Surfer, Submariner, and the Hulk. But that, they needed some other minor characters. And of course, Silver Surfer is always soaring off into space anyway. So,
Sure.
his time with them was limited, and Submariner has got anger management problems. So he was gone. And they were able to they brought in Valkyrie, and she had a way of calming the Hulk down, in much the way that the Marvel Cinematic Universe had Black Widow to do that.
Black Widow, the calm him down. Yes, yes.
Yeah. So she, Valkyrie had her dragon fang sword and her I think she might have had a dragon too, a little dragon sidekick. I don't know. I mean, I know she had the winged horse that she got from the Black Knight.
Ah,
Um,
I barely remember the Black Knight.
and then there was Nighthawk, who was like from the other universe, but came over and then reformed, and he got a better costume because he looked ridiculous in the first one. Um, And yeah, I watched it, but it got very weird. It was written by Steve Gerber,
I
uh,
do know the name, yes.
and it had all kind of weird stuff. I remember, um, like a little, politically not correct midget or little person dressed as a dwarf and would go in and like murder people in like ladies in it was that was a weird storyline. And then they had the headmen, which were all people whose bodies or heads were disfigured. Like Ruby had a beautiful body, but her head was a red ball that could
Okay.
sprout all kind of things, and you had the scientist whose face was malformed, but he was the smart guy. And then
Right.
you had a beast-like character whose head was normal, but his body was like the beast. Um, so they were like their enemies, the headmen.
There you go.
So, but they
And
were
when
billed as the non-team.
the
Like it's a
non-team.
team, but they're calling them a non-team. So, but I love the Avengers. I love the Fantastic Four.
Now, when does Fantastic Four open? Is that at the end of July?
July 26th
Okay.
it comes into my brain. I think I heard it was like the 26th. I know it's late July. So I think that was smart. You don't want to have two blockbuster superhero movies, Although Superman will probably still be in the theater.
I'm
Um,
sure, yes. Yes,
and,
yeah.
and in a way, Fantastic Four and Superman has the same kind of tone to it. It has a sort of a sci-fi background of stuff, and it is a lighter title. And remember, Marvel used to bill Fantastic Four as world's greatest comic book.
No.
Like world's greatest comic magazine is what it was. It always
Right,
had
right.
that tagline. So it'll be interesting. I mean, we see Silver Surfer. We're going to see Galactus for the first time. You see the big boot, that
Yes,
walks
the
down the
big boot.
street. Like that, the closest we got before was some giant cloud in the first two Fantastic Four movies,
Right, right, right. Yeah.
because they didn't have the CGI tech to do it right, I guess.
Who is playing Galactus? Do you know?
No, I just assumed it would be done through CGI.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying is that, but
But I
who's
get,
going to
but
voice
you're
it?
right. The voice, who's going to be doing the voice of him? Or, will an actor be in a costume, when will the CGI just, be part of the
The helmet better be
giant-
lightweight or else he's going to fall over.
And do we see the Watcher? Because I've heard we
The
don't see the
Watcher. Yeah, I
Watcher.
don't know.
And I would think you would need to have the Watcher in this because he's pivotal in the first storyline with Galactus. He's the one who, I don't know, helps Reed build the ultimate nullifier, or is that some device that they break in to Galactus's ship and steal? And it's this big, powerful weapon, and even Galactus is afraid. It's like, you can't wield that. It's. Uh,
Right, right.
so I don't know. And I don't know what other little gems we might see. They might have kept that kind of hidden.
I'm sure. I'm sure there'll be a lot of things that comic book enthusiasts will be able to pick up on.
But we remember from was it Captain America, or was it which movie was it? Whatever Marvel movie have we seen earlier this year where they no, it was Thunderbolts. Thunderbolts, where the title, post-title scene was the Thunderbolts seeing a ship coming towards Earth. and we
You
see.
know, I didn't see the Thunderbolts. Didn't interest me at all. Just like I did not see the other Captain
Well,
America.
there's a link between. Oh, Hercules is here, so we've got a. Wow, we've gone through a lot of time already.
Yep.
So, but Thunderbolt has a connection between Fantastic Four.
Oh, they do? Okay. Well, maybe,
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll cameo at all.
Yeah, well, we'll see. So it connects the two Earths, I think, was what we'll have.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, real quick, because I know Hercules wants us to wrap it up.
Absolutely.
Real quick, provide your contact information for the Britannic, and maybe if you have time, a little plug of whatever.
USS Britannic, we are a chapter of Starfleet, the International Star Trek Fan Association, Incorporated. And we're here on Long Island and we get together for monthly meetings. We plan activities, go to conventions, and you can reach me at WayneAugustson@yahoo.com. Or you can visit our website at ussbritannic.org. And there you go. And what about you, Bob? Plug the Challenger.
Oh, the Challenger is going to have 6 members of an away team at shore leave this coming weekend, and we're going to have a blast. Next week, we'll probably find a time to go see Superman. And on August 3rd, and you're invited too, we're having our potluck picnic at the Seaside Heights Community Center. It's free, but just bring something to feed, and yourself and a few others, and we'll have a good time there.
Absolutely.
And the way to contact us is beamaboard at AOL.com, usschallenger.org, and of course, like us on Facebook and check us out.
There you go. There you go.
So,
Herc, thank you very much.
I enjoyed listening to your conversation. There's only a couple of things that I heard that I want to add to the soup.
Sure.
One is that the female Silver Surfer did originate in the comics. She was a love interest of Norrin Rad, the
yeah,
Okay.
Shalabal,
right.
Yeah, but she was never a Silver Surfer. She was always the girlfriend. Yeah.
No, but she was a Silver Surfer in like an alternate reality tale. I don't know if it was whatever, but she became the Silver Surfer instead of Norrin Rad. And then she
maybe in What If, maybe an issue of What If,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And also I heard that there's rumor that we're going to get our first glimpse of Dr. Doom in the post-credit scene.
Oh,
okay, good.
That's all I have to contribute. You guys,
that's good. That's good. I had not heard that. I thought the director said, and maybe he meant he wouldn't be part of the plot of this, but but this being a glimpse at the.
And it better not be Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, that's weird. Unless they explain that he had his face redone.
Yeah, I heard that was a definite that he was going to be. He might
really?
Yeah, it's definitely the new recast Doctor Doom, but he's going to be Doctor Doom in the interim transitional movies like Doomsday and Secret Wars.
Oh, hey, if he does a great job, keep the mask on, and he can't be a smart ass either. He's going to have to be a Latverian, so who knows?
Yeah, it's a whole different character.
Absolutely, a whole different character. Most definitely.
Or they're pulling our leg and just making us think he's going to be the Doctor.
And that's possible too. You never know.
Well, thank you to both of you. Would you like me to use the Challenger logo or the Britannica logo for the graphic for the episode?
The Challenger logo, because being hosted by our very good friend, Admiral Bob Vosseller.
Very well. Thank you both very much. And thanks to everybody tuning in. Until next time, this is us wishing you joyous journeys and amazing adventures. Thanks again, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Thank you.